Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I've got a little bit of a situation. This hive is currently queenless. And what does it mean whenever they're queenless? Well, basically the queen has either died and they tried to make a new queen, and for whatever reason that didn't take. That can happen several different ways. The queen can go out to get mated and a bird can pick her off, or she doesn't get mated very well and runs out of the ability to make worker bees, and so they end up not doing well. Either way, this hive doesn't have a queen. So without a queen, sometimes one of these females will take over and start laying eggs. But since the females haven't mated, they don't have the ability to make other females. But what they can do is they can make males. And males are pretty much useless. Males just sit in the hive and eat resources. Their only job in life is to mate with the queen. So when they know they're queenless, a female can sometimes take over. They call it a laying worker. And she can start laying eggs in cells, making those males. And hoping that they can spread their genetics before the whole hive dies. Now, bees usually live about 40 days or so, something like that, or whatnot. And once they've all expired, they're done. You can't have no more workers because there's no more queen. So what we got to do to fix this is we got to get them a queen. And I happen to have a hive sitting on top that was a swarm that I captured earlier this summer. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to merge this swarm with this hive. And I'm going to do that by putting a screen in between the two hives so that the bees can sense each other, smell each other's pheromones, and that sort of thing, but they can't interact. And the reason I'm doing that is because sometimes when the female worker has started laying eggs, she starts to see herself as the queen bee. And you can have a situation where the female worker tries to kill the actual queen that we're trying to fix things with. And we don't want that. So we're going to put a screen in the middle for a while, let them get used to each other. Hopefully the bees in here will sense the pheromones of the actual queen, and they will say, hey, we got a good queen. Let's kill off the laying worker that's in here, get rid of her, and get that queen going so that we can stay alive and survive. So let's get into it and see how it goes. On here we've got some honey and some pollen going towards the center. We've got honey, or nectar I should say, honey on the outside, nectar in the middle. Same situation. There should be eggs and stuff like that up here in the top, but there just simply isn't. And what you're seeing here is these brood right here. These are male bees. You see how they protrude up off of the frame? That's a male bee. And the female larvae, when they cap them, will be flat with the comb, whereas the male bees, they're a bigger bee. See, right here's a male actually. You see he's a bigger, fatter bee. So they need more height than a female does. And so they have these raised up comb. So whenever all the brood you're seeing are males, that's a sign that you have a laying worker. Or that the female has ran out of semen and is unable to produce females anymore. Alright, I'm looking here, see if I see any eggs. I am seeing a couple eggs. Hold on. But each egg that I'm seeing is, each cell that I'm seeing has multiple eggs, which again is another sign of a laying worker. And over there is some resources. Here you can see the smaller cells and the larger cells. You can see that they have they've made a lot of drones in recent weeks, and more resources. So there's no worker brood whatsoever. Tells me that this hive is in trouble. Now, to be honest, I have already looked all through this hive before I started the camera. I'm just trying to show you guys kind of what I'm looking for. And so let's go ahead and get this wrapped back up, put their frames back in here, and we'll go ahead and move the donor hive over. Okay, so what I have here is a shim. It's just a square piece that goes on a hive, and I have attached screen to the shim so it separates the bees. The bees cannot get through this and interact with each other. So I'm actually going to take this out. Oops. So that the bees in the top hive will have an escape, basically. They can go in and out through that. I'm going to turn it around facing backwards so the escape for these bees are back here, and then there won't be a front entrance on the top up here. The entrance will be down there on the bottom. Okay. All right. We got this entrance reducer sticking to the front here. We don't need that. So I'll just pull that off of there. Out of the way, girls. There we go. And I'm just going to slide that forward a little bit. Get this lined up just like that. Alright, now one thing I want to do is open this up and try to get as many of the bees back in this hive as I can. And since I opened it up, I can now see that I have forgot to put one frame in here. Hold on one second. I just so happen to have empty frames here with me. So we will just slide that down in here ever so slowly. Nice and easy. Just like that. And then the bottom board, I'm just going to tap it. And kind of shake the bees into the hive there. And then I'm going to put the top entrance right there. So hopefully any bees returning from the field will be able to find this top entrance. Now, some of the bees down here that are out in the field may possibly go in here thinking this is the entrance to their hive. That's okay. That's not going to be a big problem because the laying worker is still in here. The laying worker stays in here and lays, and that's the one we're worried about. The workers coming in, bringing resources and stuff like that, they should be pretty much welcomed with open arms for the most part. But as the days go on, the bees will be able to smell themselves or smell each other, smell themselves. Hey, you really stink, man. Anyway, they'll be able to sense each other between this screen, and they'll start to get used to each other, and the whole hive will start to jive without any infighting or any problem because that screen is blocking the way, and they'll get used to each other. And here in however many days, I'll be able to come out here and take that out and let both hives merge together. Alright, so it's been a week now since we tried to combine these hives. Just haven't been able to get out here and do anything. My schedule's been crazy. You can see some activity down here. I don't know if these are robbers or not. There's a little bit of fussing and fighting going on, but not too bad. Or they might just be getting low on bees. A lot more activity up here because the new hive is right here. So we're going to take this apart. We're going to look in these boxes, take out any empty frames, try to combine them down to just 2 boxes, and we'll see how that goes. All right, I'm just going to set this hive up here for now while we work on this hive. Okay, first frame I pulled out was this one, and you can see the comb looks like it's chewed up. That's a clear sign of robbing. So I have a feeling that this hive has been robbed out, and the bees you see here are just robbers. Yep, you can see there they're actively robbing, tearing into the comb, getting the resources out. So we're just going to add this hive to these boxes, and this will be their new location. See what we got down here in this bottom. Bunch of empty comb. Empty comb. Seems to be all empty. A little bit of pollen in there. Got some old drone brood that's, I see one there that's actually trying to hatch. Yeah, several of these drones are actually hatching, so just leave them be. The girls aren't liking that. And they definitely don't like that. You gotta be kidding me here. Alright, I'm going to stick this empty box on top. Give them a little bit of room to grow into. Just like that. Put their ventilation back on. And their top. Alright, so a little bit late to do a combination of the two. The old hive is dead. We would call that a dead out. So we basically just took this swarm, gave them a new box, and set them in the location. So these girls have plenty of room now, and they ought to be able to start really building up for the winter and getting ready. Alright guys, I appreciate you watching. If you want to see more stuff like this, check out my other videos. I got a ton of bee related videos, and I'll be making more, so subscribe if you want to see them. Alright, see you on the next one. Bye.